The beautiful yacht in front of me is a 2021 Riva 76 Bahamas. This yacht is presented by the FGI Yacht Group. Inside you have 3 different staterooms. The length overall is 76 feet and 3 inches, or 23.24 meters. You have a beam of 18 feet and 8 inches, or 5.69 meters, and a draft of 6 feet and 5 inches, or 1.96 meters. Now guys, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know I love these Riva yachts. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Tony, and we post a new yacht tour every single week. This one, of course, has the patented C-top design, and I'll show you more of that once we get on board. As you can see, we're at the back of the yacht where you do have your swim platform. And then underneath, we actually have the garage opened up a little bit. You can see your tender inside. And you do have steps leading up on either side, which brings you up onto the aft deck or the cockpit area. So the first thing you'll see, you have this huge sun pad area. There's also speakers all throughout this yacht. There is a shade overhead as well, so this can be taken down, of course, or put up if you want some protection from the sun. And you also have the seating areas that are forward here and over here. So if you're looking for a really open boat, this yacht is perfect for you. It has a really great top speed. And obviously, like I said, it's kind of focused for that outdoor living. But in the intro, I mentioned a C-top. So let me tell you about that right now, actually, before we get into the other areas. If you look overhead, there is a hard top right here, and this is the C-top. And then you can also zipper in enclosures on the sides if you want to truly enclose off this space. But with the push of a button, this C-top will actually move forward, and it covers a sun pad area up on the bow, which we'll go to in a few moments. So you can completely open up this yacht. It's a 76-foot yacht. You can have it wide open, perfect for enjoying a beautiful day out on the water. Here, of course, you have your alfresco dining table and a huge L-shaped seating area that wraps around. And another nice feature on this, because you can close it off, you also have AC vents right here and right here, and then also up by the helm station. So this area can be climate controlled, although it is pretty exposed. So you want to be careful, make sure you're only running that at appropriate times. Or if you want to just go crazy, you can run this even when it's fully open, obviously up to you. You have some lovely stitching in all of the upholstery. And then of course you need to be well catered for on here. So we have a sink over here with the cooktop. And then you also have the refrigerator and your ice maker. Additionally, you have your trash under here, and also just storage in all of these other places tucked underneath. And then on the other side, this door actually leads down to the crew area and the engine room, so we'll go there last. But before we get there, on the other side, you can see you have a refrigerator right here, so you can see there's a drain down there. So you can fill this up with ice. It's a perfect little drink fridge tucked away. And then actually, let me give you one more shot before we look at the helm station. And I'm also going to throw up a picture on screen of the profile so you can see just what a beautiful yacht this is. Riva, of course, is a brand of the Ferretti Group. So right up here, we have 2 lift bolster seats. You have the Riva logo or the name embossed right there. So you can lift these up or push them down so you can lean against them while standing. Well, that's backwards. When you have it down, you sit on it, obviously. You lift it up, and then you're leaning against the seats. You know what I meant. And then here is the helm station. Riva is always known for their beautifully stitched and leather-wrapped steering wheels. But you also have your throttle control, the bow and stern thruster control. You have your multifunction displays here. You still have the old school compass right up here. And then, as mentioned, you do have the AC vents. So if you're at the helm, you can stay nice and cool. Then you have your VHF radio, and then a whole entire switch panel for the yacht. You can control the lights, the C-top. Here are the controls for that. And then a bunch of other controls on the yacht. And then you have another lift bolster seat right here. So if you have a third guest that wants to sit here, they can be part of the action while you're driving the yacht. And you also have this little lounger right here as well, with the same type of stitching in the seats. So as mentioned, you do have accommodation below. You have 3 different cabins. Let's head around and take a look at the bow, and I'll show you where the seat top goes when you completely open it up. Here you can see where the seat top is connected by these 2 arms on each side. So when you push that button, these will hinge forward. And as you'll see, you have this beautiful, you see it all throughout, the stitched seats. And if you want, when this is open, of course, you can put a freestanding table here if you want, or additional sun pads. But you have the cushions right here. And when that seat top comes forward, it will hinge right into place. You can kind of see where there's a little bit of extra space here. And it will sit flush on the bow, so you would never even know that it's there or not there. And then you do have the built-in cup holders here as well. You have more speakers, of course, and you can see the controls for the stereo system right over there. I like how in the cup holders they have different sizes. You might have a champagne glass, or you might have, a skinny can, a bunch of different things. You can fit it all in these different cup holders. And then here, of course, is the sun pad all the way up to the front. You have to comment down below, are you a fan of Riva Yachts, or is it not your cup of tea? I know sometimes they can be pretty polarizing. They're obviously very stylish, very fast, very sexy yachts, but that seems to split a lot of people's opinions. Personally, I am a fan of Riva Yachts, but I would love to hear your opinion. So comment down below, let me know what you think. So we have 3 different cabins down here, but you do have more space than you'd expect. Here you have, it's kind of the formal dining area, but it's also the main sitting area. So you'll see the row of seating. It's actually the L-shaped around the table. And you also have the TV up on the wall. And a couple things I wanted to point out. I believe this table can be lowered, so you could throw another cushion on here if you wanted to. And then also, look how much headroom you have overhead. They made this a very airy, spacey atrium area when you come down through this door here. Then also over here, this is where you find the galley. So it's not a huge galley, but this yacht really is designed to be enjoyed, and you're supposed to be entertaining yourself and your guests outside. But you have Miele appliances on this one. Still a good size sink, and still a full size, depending on if you're from Europe or the US, but you do still have a decent sized fridge and freezer. Then you have storage in places like up here, and obviously in all the cabinets around here. And they also did make pretty smart use of the space down here in the floor. You can see this hook right here. You do have a ton of storage space underneath for provisions. It's always nice to see when builders are making the most of the space. Give me one sec, I need to make sure that that's seated properly. Obviously, we always leave things exactly as we found them. There we go. So, we'll start with room number 3. It's right over here. You have the 2 single beds. And then they have their closet right here. It's kind of dark in this room, I've noticed. The lights are on. This lights up automatically. And then their ensuite shares duties as the day head. So we'll wrap around. And we'll check out the day head / the ensuite for this room. You have the shower stall right here. So this will spin around. Then you have, of course, your sink and the toilet. And even though the shower is not the biggest, you do have the rainfall attachment. So still a very classy setup, even in the confined space. And then the VIP will be all the way forward. So here you'll see your double bed. You have closets on each side. We have one over here and the same on the other side. Your TV up here, and then of course the ensuite. Very similar style from a vanity perspective. And you do have the rainfall shower in here as well. And even though it's a separate shower stall, it's around the same size as the ensuite for this other one. So back here in the midship, this is where we find the owner suite. And before we step in, you do have your washer dryer combo right over here. And then let's take a look. This is the full beam of the yacht. You have your TV mounted up on the wall. Storage along here, and really large windows as well. And you can open this up for ventilation. Then if we look across the room, you'll see your ensuite is right over here. We have the vanity in the middle. Looks like the toilet tucked away in here. And then on this side, this is where you find the shower. So you do have a bench since you are in the owner suite, makes sense. And you have the shower wand as well as the rainfall shower. Really lovely finishes in every single room. So we still have more to see, don't worry. Obviously this yacht is 76 feet, but it's still pretty sleek, so you don't have a ton of space in here. But I would argue you do have way more room than you anticipate when you're first looking at it or what you would expect coming down. You also have additional storage for provisions up in here. Actually, not provisions. This is all your cups, your glassware, that type of stuff, silverware. So let's head back up. Now, I did mention the crew area is right down here. So let's take a look. So let me grab the camera before we lose that. And bear with me for one sec. We just have to climb down this ladder. So you do have to watch your head while you step down, but it's still finished really nicely down here. You have all of this woodwork. Here you can see a bunk room. You could definitely, if you were very experienced, you could own or operate this, or you could run it very slim crew. You could just have a captain, or maybe just one captain and a stew if you wanted to. You can see their ensuite is over here. Technically it's not an ensuite, but they're the only ones down here, so. And it is a wet room, so the curtain will wrap around this track, and then they can shower. The whole room can get wet, it's not a problem. And you have the teak on the floor too, which is a nice touch. And then they'll have a closet right here. So now we're gonna go into the engine room. They can easily access it through this door. You can also access it through a hatch in the cockpit area. So I'll point that out when we get up there, but this is obviously the way easier way to get in here. You can see this area is taken up by the tender garage. I think it's a fair trade-off though. I mean, you still have full standing headroom in the first half of the room. You can see your generators on each side. This yacht also has a water maker, which is pretty impressive. You wouldn't necessarily expect that. And then here are the engines. Now this yacht comes with a pair of MAN engines. These are 1,800 horsepower each, very fast at 37 knots for your top speed. It's pretty quick for a yacht of this size, let's be real. You can comfortably cruise at 32. And at 32, which is a very fast cruising speed, you'll get about 320 nautical miles of range. Now, of course, you could drop that down to a displacement speed and go much further than that, probably at closer to 1,000, maybe even more, I'm not sure. But let's be real, if you're driving this yacht, you want to go fast, you want to have fun, so you're probably going to be sticking to those higher speeds. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? And then you also do have a stabilizer on this one, and you can see that right back there. So this is going to be a very comfortable yacht when the seas get a little rough as well. So it's fast, it's comfortable, it's luxurious. Honestly, what more could you ask for? So we're going to watch our head and step back up here. We will, of course, close this all up behind us, so give me one moment. And all right, guys, I think we've seen every single area on board this Riva 76 Bahamas. Thank you to the FGI Yacht Group for granting me access on board. This is truly a gorgeous, sexy, incredible, whatever adjective you want to use, it's probably all of the above. This is an amazing yacht. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below, and we will catch you next time.